This is how you find a good man so you don't end up on Temptation Island. Please. Hello everyone, welcome back to Chlorinated Thoughts. And I am solo today. Last week I posted a podcast with my two friends. Honestly, give it some love because it's honestly been doing so good. Today I want to be talking about a very different topic. It is a very important one. We want to find people to meet and, get to know them on a deeper level. Sometimes, though, those people are not always the right people for us. And recently, I have seen a very constant and consistent pattern of this in my life and in the show I particularly have watched with my boyfriend in the past 2 weeks. Me and my boyfriend have watched Temptation Island. And it has really made me realize as the years go by, men are becoming even worse by the year. I honestly think to myself, how did I find such a good guy? All my friends are experiencing these shitty men, and for some reason, I found the person in my life that is good. Now I'm looking at Temptation Island and I'm like, wow, these girls clearly have not picked the right man to date. Throughout my life, I have been surrounded by pretty good men, and anyone really that I have known as a friend or have known romantically has been a pretty good guy. How to find a real man that is not going to screw you over so you don't end up on Temptation Island. Like, you don't even have to test your relationship in the first place. To start, I really need to debrief a little bit on Temptation Island. I feel like if you haven't seen it by now, go see it or watch someone that explains what happens or just watch me. Basically, the most important things you need to know. Brion and Shantae. Brion is crazy. I'm sorry. How are you going to go and have a threesome with two other women and then go on camera and say that you do not feel bad? Also, go on camera and say, yeah, I don't feel bad and I genuinely think like she's gonna forgive me. Okay, in the first place, I would never put myself in a situation like that. I would feel way too bad to do that. How do you genuinely think that she will actually forgive you? And sadly, he was right because she does forgive him and leaves the island with him. Shantae, girl, what are you doing? You don't have to forgive him, girl. But I am very concerned for her because if she doesn't realize that he did not deserve that chance, then you gotta reevaluate some things, girl. My next person that I really need to talk about is Grant. Right now, I feel like Grant is the new Harry Jowsey. He's the guy that was on Too Hot to Handle and he was playing women left and right. And now I feel like Grant is the same thing. He's gonna become the same type of influencer that Harry Jowsey is. But anyways, Grant had cheated on his girl in the past. That's why they came onto Temptation Island. Now, he's on Temptation Island and he has cheated on her again. Wow. Such a shock, such a surprise. It's not a shock, it's not a surprise. He cheated on her on the show. Then Ashley, the girlfriend, was like, okay, I'm done with this man, as she should be done with this man. And then he goes on to tell her that he forgives her for everything she's done to him, even though he cheated on her twice. And who knows how many more times. And then proceeds to say he's a good person and he has a daughter. Okay, just because you have a daughter doesn't mean you're a good person. Having a daughter doesn't mean you're not a cheater all of a sudden. So Grant, I don't know what you're trying to achieve with that. But anyways, the other thing that really baffles me is so he got to know this other girl on the island called Natalie, the girl he cheated on his girlfriend with. And then he proceeded to I think he was continuing things with Natalie, but he then cheated on Natalie with Ashley, his girlfriend that he went on the show with. He cheated on him with her. Ashley, why are you doing that? Why are you taking him back after everything he's done to you? We need to reevaluate these mindsets and we need to get rid of these men. Why are you going back to him? It's actually not giving what it needs to give at all. This has really just highlighted the people that exist in the world and how horrible men can be. But it is sad to say that this is really not just a reflection of the men in these situations. The women keep enabling these men to keep doing it to them again and again and again. For what, I have no clue. Shantae should have dropped Brion the second she heard the water slapping in the video, in the clip. And Ashley, why the would you date Grant again after the show? Like, these are the questions I have, and these are the statements I have, and these are the reasonings I have, and why it takes two to tango. There are instances where you can say, okay, like it happened once and it's not gonna happen again. But like when you're seeing this thing where it's like you're just letting yourself get disrespected time and time again, like, you know, nothing's gonna ever change, and stop assuming that it will. I will help you find a good man that will help you believe that men can actually be good people. Like, genuinely. I want to give you some, like, right off the bat red flags. If you see this in the guy you're seeing right now or the guy you're dating right now, drop him like right now, because it's never going to change, and these are like the ultimate red flags that you need to look out for. If they cannot give you a straight answer on how they feel about you, that is a no. If you are feeling that like you're not sure if they like you, and like you're not sure if they're like putting in enough effort, and you're not sure about all of these things, that means no, and you should run for the hills, because they do not care about you. I'm sorry. Like, they do not care, and sadly, that is not the person you want to be dating. They emotionally and physically abuse you. Obviously, I think this is an obvious one. If you're in an emotional or abusive relationship, you need to leave. But that is, you know, that is a usual red flag. Number 3, which is kind of ties into the first one, is that they don't make time for you. If they're not making time for you, and like they're only coming over at night, they're not making time for you, and they just don't want to make time for you either. Please, if you're seeing someone and that's what they're giving, then say bye-bye right now. Like, genuinely text them right now and say bye. Sorry. So now let's get into the actual steps and things you can do in order to find a good man. Number 1, I think it is partially your own mindset. Men don't become shitty because of you, things you might be attracting in your life. You're just attracting these bad men. If you believe that all men are bad and all men are shit, and like all men are, you know, shitty people, then you will attract the men that are shitty people. Like, that is just how your mind works. If you believe something, your mind will look for things to confirm that in your environment. Try and change that mindset. Not all men are bad. You can really find good men out there that will give you the world, even just as a friend, as a romantic partner. Really, like, there are good people in the world that are not women. You need to learn to believe that there are good men out there, and good men want you because you deserve that. If you believe that you don't deserve a good man to treat you well, that might be reflecting in your relationships, in the people that you meet, because you kind of might be self-sabotaging too. Is like, oh, I don't think I'm worthy of this, so that's not gonna like happen, you know. Number 2, in order to let men know that they have to respect you, you need to present yourself in a way that lets men know that they can't cross you. You don't, like, by that I don't mean like you have to be mean or like, you know, you have to be rude to them. I mean like giving out this like goddess energy, being like, even your presence, even you talking to them is a like privilege, you know. Like, you can be funny and lighthearted, but also be firm in yourself, and like be firm in like what you believe, be confident in what you do, how you speak, like in your hobbies, you know what I mean? Be firm in who you are, and don't try and change yourself for a guy that you like, because like that man will notice that you are changing yourself, you know, in order to like try and like be more, I don't know, appealing to them. And it's just not going to show your true side, and it's going to show that you are just like not confident in like in yourself and like what you believe and like the way, you know, you are. The person you're talking to is not going to appreciate that, and I bet you that your friends are not going to appreciate that either. Honestly, that is something that like low-key no one really respects, is when like that's literally the worst thing in the world, when a girl is trying to change her personality to in order to appeal for a man, and or a girl is trying to like you know, put other people down in order to appeal to a man. You need to be so confident in yourself that like you don't need to change how you act, and you don't need to change how you treat other people if you want to like look good to a guy. My third thing that kind of ties into the second thing is you do not need to be desperate for these men to give you attention. Desperation really in any form of your life is coming from a feeling of lack, like you're lacking something, so you're desperate to get something else in order to like fulfill this need, like this feeling. And like maybe if you're desperate for this thing and you get this thing, you might still not feel that emotion like of fulfillment, because in reality you're really trying to like fill a void. And this applies to finding a partner and finding a good boyfriend. Is, for example, let's say we're at a social setting. If they want to talk to you, they will. You don't need to be standing next to them 24/7, always available to talk to them, because then they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, this person is always available. Like I don't need to like, try and do anything in order to get their attention, because their attention is on me and they are available to me 24/7. Another sad thing is that a man will probably want to chase after the person that is harder to get, rather than the person that is always available for them and always there for them and always, there to like make them feel good about themselves. Like a man is not going to like you because you make them feel good about themselves. They're going to like you when they respect you and when they like really love to be around you, even though you're not there 24/7. A man needs to know that you are fine being alone, you have hobbies, you pursue other things other than just being with a boy. You don't need a man, you want a man. And there's a big difference in that. My fourth recommendation to find a good man to date, this is specifically if you just want to find a man to date, is where do I find these people? Most likely you will not find men that are willing to date you in settings like bars, or I hate to say it, but like Tinder and Hinge. Like those are usually the places, especially in the college scene. I mean, you're probably not watching this video if you're like 40 years old, but men are usually not on these dating apps to find people to be in a long-term relationship with. Although there's the exception. There's definitely the exception, but you just, on a college campus, it's pretty hard to find that. You could go to places where people, where you can find people with a more educational background. You can find people that are doing a more goal-centered activity. Like, for example, you can go to like sports grounds, like, I don't know, maybe basketball's not the best example, or football, but like go like, I don't know, go golfing, go to a tennis court. You can go to any sporting ground and find people that are actually doing other things rather than like playing video games on their computer. Go to a museum, go to a library where people are actually pursuing something that they want to do or love to do. And that is where you will find the men that are like more educated, and that's where you will find the people that smarter up here. And they know better than to treat a woman like ass. Although there is the exception, sadly, but these are just my tips. Be outgoing and get to know them. I know it's like really scary to kind of like go up to a random person and start talking to them, but sometimes it really pays off. You really never know. And if nothing really comes from it, like you still did something that got you out of your comfort zone, and you will be more willing to do it like again and again. And I think that's such a fun thing to do, to be honest. If you are starting a relationship or you're in a talking stage with someone, make sure you subtly let these men know what you stand for. What are your boundaries? What do you expect of these people in a relationship? How do you expect to be treated? Men need to know these things straight up because they are so bad at taking hints. Like, you need to tell them straight up what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you expect them to do. Because if they don't know your boundaries, if they don't know how you would like to be treated, then how will they know how to be the best boyfriend for you? Because you're not telling them anything. You're just trying to give them hints. That is not going to work with a guy. I'm so sorry. Most relationships turn toxic because of lack of communication, then they start to like grow this resentment for each other, that like, oh, this person doesn't know what I want. Well, how the hell would they know? Because you never told them. So I think the most important part in, even from the beginning of a relationship, is letting them know and communicating every little thing to them, so they know how to be, a good person, a good boyfriend to you. And if they're still not a good boyfriend, then that's more of a reason to just, dip. And that's more of a reflection of them, of how they feel. If they don't care to put in that effort, then they do not like you enough for you to be dating them in the first place. What I really want to emphasize in general is communication. Like, communicate with them and let them know. That is my video for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your biggest red flags in the comments. Okay. My red flag is when I actually like someone, I get really sensitive, even though I guess with my friends and stuff, I'm not a super sensitive person. But when it comes to I guess my boyfriend right now, I just get so sensitive over the smallest things that he does from past experiences. I would just shut down and just become super mad for no reason. I guess my next red flag is that if anyone does me dirty, I can just talk about them on my YouTube channel. That's a bad one, and I would probably never do that. But I guess that's a red flag. Make sure you subscribe down below and also like the video. And I will see you guys next week with a new episode. Bye!